Alright, welcome aboard for the air-to-air weapons demonstration. We'll try to make it quick here since we have so much to cover. So we'll start with the Super 530. To fence that weapon in, we'll need to turn the radar to on, to the EM position, as you can see on the radar panel. Master arm on. We'll select the 530D. We now have a ring on our HUD, which is the seeker head gimbal or limit for the 530. And since the radar is currently scanning, we're going to lock up a target. And remember, when you want to use the 530, you'll hit lock once like I just did for a TWS or track while scan lock, but the 530 cannot fire unless you're in a single target track lock. That will require you to hit the lock key again, and as you can see now, that small circle has moved inside the box, indicating a single target track or STT lock, which the 530D requires. Now if we watch on the right, we have a range bar here. That range bar is going to move this caret that currently says 11 down below these hash marks, and that's going to be your quote-unquote no escape zone, which is the ideal launch parameter for the missile. So we'll accelerate towards the target here, and we'll get within the no escape zone, and we'll fox off these two 530s. Now when you selected a 530, you're going to see an S indication on the PCA, and we're pretty close to the no escape zone parameter there, so I'm just going to go ahead and fire these off and move on to sidewinders. Remember that you will have to maintain a lock in order for these missiles to home in on their target, and we'll watch the 530 and see if it actually gets pretty close. Currently the 530 does lose speed quite a bit. Not sure how off it is from the real missile. I know the real missile was designed to be fired from high altitude and low altitude targets, but we'll see what RASBAM does with it. So it looks like those two 530s missed, so I would definitely recommend firing under 10 miles. Alright, so switching to air-to-air, or I'm sorry, to close range missiles, we'll put the radar in standby for the non-radar fire demonstration. We'll select the Sidewinder here. Now remember, the Sidewinder doesn't have a PCA code, but if you had a magic, you would see MAG there. So we got an S and a good Sidewinder tone. So we're going to roll in behind our target here. As you can see, we also have a seeker head indicating ring, and the blinking circle in there shows that we do not currently have a lock. Now as we bring the target around, don't put it inside the circle, because I think there's still a bug there. You want to hold them to the top of your HUD near your bore sight cursor. Now we have a good lock, so Fox 2. There goes the Sidewinder. He's evasive, but it's a good splash. Alright, so that's how you fire the Sidewinder in infrared mode. We're going to turn the radar to EM, to emission, and we're now going to use something called close combat mode. You can select close combat mode with the V key. As I hit that, you'll see that now I have a line horizontally, a circle, and a vertical line. Those are the three cursors for close combat mode. They're useful in different situations. So now in close combat mode, I'm going to put them inside that target cursor. I'm going to hit the lock key, and you can see that I get some new information. Like the 530, I get a no escape zone indicator, and my seeker head also slew to my radar lock, which is pretty handy. Now there's also supposed to be indications on the HUD for no escape zone. It says TIR, which means launch, and the ring that you see there should have another ring inside it, but I don't think that's implemented yet, but you'll see that symbology in the future. So we'll Fox 2 on this guy times 2, and I'm sure those two missiles will splash him. And then finally, we're going to go ahead and select the cannon and just demonstrate the two types of cannon cursors we have. With the radar on, you see we get the snake, and looking for another target. We get the snake with the radar guided cursor. You'll want to have close combat mode, as I mentioned earlier, to lock your target to get radar guidance, because if you don't have a lock, you'll see we get these two wingspan markers. Now the Mirage 2000's cannon, air-to-air cannon guidance is not quite as elaborate as the F-15 or Su-27's. You're still going to need to range your shots, but the line you see there and the cursor we get when we have a radar lock is more of a trajectory predictor. Alright, so we'll roll in behind this guy and see if we can get a cannon shot on him. If he doesn't see fit. Anyway. Okay, so we'll slow down. Take your time, Texaco. Alright, so as we get in behind this IL-78, I'm going to go ahead and get my close combat reticle on him. I'm using the line here since we're kind of in the vertical. Got a good lock, and you see that we got our cannon pipper, so we're going to just put it on him since there's very little relative movement, and have a burst. There we go. Without a radar lock, that's what we get, the 2 lines. You'll just want to use those lines as a reference for wingspan and try to interpolate that and put the target's wingspan where it fits on that line, or if there was a line where it would fit. So I think you may be able to follow where I'm getting with that. I won't demonstrate the non-radar cannon because it's pretty easy to figure out, and that takes care of our air-to-air weapons demonstration.